Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today it's a review on the B-10B bomber. Now, some of you may remember the first flight and the Premium Series flight that I had in this aircraft. You'll notice that I don't have the skin on it anymore. That's because I had to delete the file, just because I needed the space for college work. So this is the stock skin that you get with this aircraft, and it looks very weird, but it's okay. I mean, you can make up for it with the bomb loads this thing can pack. So the B-10B is a rank 1 battery of 1.3 and comes in at the price of 400 golden eagles. Now, to some players this thing won't be your cup of tea, but to me this thing certainly is. It's reasonably quick once you get it in a dive and has good bomb loads to make up for that. And with the lack of defensive armament being present as well as a lack of armor being present, you're going to kind of need that. Now, the B-10B was pretty much the predecessor to B-18, so it's not going to be as good in terms of performance as a B-18 Bolo, but I would rather take this thing over a Bolo personally. There's a good few reasons for that. First of all, this thing turns better. Second of all, this thing seems to take hits actually quite better. And thirdly, you can actually fly this thing. You can actually fly this thing without having to spend any money in the Chinese tech tree. Now, the Chinese tech tree has a bit different in terms of an aircraft like that. In that tech tree, we have the Martin 139, which is very similar except different skin and different bomb loads. The Martin 139 will give you a basic principle of the B-10B. Obviously, you won't have the same bomb loads, just to point out, these are in kilograms, and obviously the USA aircraft uses pounds. But if you want to get a feel for the Martin or the B-10B, fly this. See if you like it. If you don't like it, don't buy the B-10B is all I'll say. But me, I like this thing a lot. So obviously we're powered by two Wright Cyclone R18 2033s with 730 horsepower. You don't get WEP on this aircraft, and level flight speed is not the best, but it'll get you there. And with some of the bomb loads this thing carries, you can sort of understand that. So we have 6 250s mounted in the bomb bay, two 500s in the bomb bay still. I only use these once. I use the stock payload actually quite a bit. Two 1,000-pound bombs, which I don't even get why this is an option. And the legendary 2,000-pound nuke, which apparently got nerfed, which is a shame. But at lower tier, it probably ain't going to matter anyway, let's be real. This bomb can wreck anything. I think the best kill I ever got was when I landed a 2,000-pound bomb on top of a B1 engine, or the B1 business engine deck. That felt satisfying. The guy wasn't so happy because I was dive bombing in this thing, and he didn't think this thing could dive bomb, but trust me, it can. So like I say, if you want, well, there is on the warthunder.live website, I believe the link is still there for the Chinese Martin 139 skin that you can put on this aircraft. If you want to download it for yourself, go check it out. It's a really nice skin. I prefer the green to this, but honestly, if it was down to me, I'd paint the entire aircraft either blue or yellow just to not have such a weird color scheme. But do I think this thing's worth 400 golden eagles and is worth your time? For tankers, yes. For ARB pilots, maybe. You'll see what I mean. But I personally think this aircraft is worth it. For the most part. Obviously, there are situations where you're not going to want to fly this thing, such as in a mixed battle. Trust me, don't. A CW21 will murder you. But I've seen a lot less of these things lately, and it really makes me sad because I quite like it. It's my sort of aircraft. Rush in, drop a big ass bomb, get out. That's all you need to do. But in this battle, I'm going to be playing a bit Daredevil, let's just say. So in this battle, I was actually taking the two 500-pounders. This is the first and only time I used them. And they were pretty okay. I mean, they do the job. They're not the best bombs, but I should have probably taken the nuke, to be brutally honest, but even so. The two 500-pounders are stored in the bomb bay. The 1,000-pounders are external, just inside the wing roots, and so is the 2,000-pounder, as I've already shown. The 6 250-pound stock payload is also in the bomb bay. They are dropped singular. But personally, I would recommend this aircraft. It's nice and easy to fly, you don't have to be too aggressive, it's very relaxing to fly, very easy to fly, and it's a bomber. You don't really need to go full Daredevil in it, do you? So, in this battle we have two I-15s who decide to ram each other on takeoff. Great start. And they're going to get a bit pissy and chat, if I remember rightly. And this is the thing, like, this is just how the teams roll sometimes. I mean, if they want to hug each other, they can, but take it into custom battles if you want to go hugging each other. That's my opinion, anyway. So we're already down 2 players, and that means I'm going to have to play the Martin a little bit differently. I'm just going to call it Martin, because that's technically what it is. But in this battle, I play the B8 or the B-10B how you shouldn't play the B-10B. Now, I can already hear people thinking, hold on, you've just said that you're flying the bomber very differently. This doesn't look very differently, does it? You'd be correct. I'm just doing a basic bit of bombing here. This is just simple. Just drop your bombs and do your job. That's all you really have to do in this thing. And obviously the 500 pounders aren't the world's greatest, but they get the job done, to be honest. Like, they seem to do the work, and obviously the 2,000 pounder would wipe out any of the, well, they'd wipe out the entire 3 AAA guns and the artillery piece, that's for definite. So at this point I spot the Doe 17 there, and I don't know what was flowing through my mind to do this, but I thought, let's go intercept him. Now I know what you're thinking, 30 cals against a bomber, not great. That's why you use the, I believe it's the armored targets I use on this. You do have an incendiary round, and against unarmored bombers like that Doe 17, it's actually rather effective. The nose turret has great coverage, by the way. I forgot to mention that. The lower turret doesn't have great coverage, the top turret has okay coverage, but honestly that front turret, absolute beast if you get it into position. You can gunship quite well, that front turret. So there goes my first air kill, and there goes a ground target. I believe it was a artillery piece. Wait, no, it's a AAA gun, sorry. You can see what I mean by the 500 pound has been a bit debatable, but I think I do get the artillery with this bomb drop. Like I say, for this sort of map, just use the nuke. Honestly, just use a nuke. It's just nice to just nuke everything in an area. So at this point, my team isn't looking so hot. The 2 TMBR guys have been absolutely useless. I think they were flying fighters, if I remember. No, they were flying a Potez and a B-17A, the Swedish B-17. And they didn't exactly do anything. So as such, I now have to make this aircraft here, this HE-100, drop his altitude. Don't try this at home. Luckily this guy was a dumbass, otherwise I'd have probably been dead for doing this, but yeah, whatever. And well, you can see the controllability of this aircraft, even though it's quite large for a twin-engined aircraft. It is really manoeuvrable, especially when you put the flaps down. I mean, you can see I'm pulling inside of him here. This thing is quite manoeuvrable. He goes for a shot there, but misses. The rear gunner has a crack at him, which I found quite hilarious. But obviously we've damaged his oil system, so this guy, I think, obviously being on a PS4, it's a lot harder to play. But the fact that he was about to get schooled by a bomber is just quite funny. I do score a couple more hits, but this is the thing, like, they're only 30 cal. If it was down to me, I'd have equipped this aircraft with 350 cals. I'd have loved to have seen that. Could you just, in fact no, could you imagine this thing with B-17 turrets, like twin 50 on the top, twin 50 on the bottom, and twin 50 in the front? That'd be amazing. So at this point, I spot this teammate down here engaged in this HE-51, and I looked at the Stepper Igra stat card and I was like, you could handle him, but I need this HE-100 to go away anyway, so I'll come in and lend a hand. And yes, I'm going to try and gunship this HE-51, which As I said, don't try this at home, folks. This probably won't end well for you, but don't try this at home. I know some people take my advice quite literally and try and do that, but don't do this. Honestly, you're not really like I benefit my team doing this, but most of the time you're just gonna get shot down by a complete idiot. And there goes kill number 2 and my final air kill for this game. At this point, I'm having to go on the defensive because the HE-100 is really hungry for me. He seems to like my bomber a bit. But what he doesn't realise is that an Ikobe's JAA has just dropped in on his tail, and so has the Stepper Igra guy in the I-15R. And this guy's going to keep turning. He's just going to keep losing his energy. And this is really what gets Pixie killed, and I think he actually went vertical at that point then. That's the thing, that's what's going to cost him his aircraft. Because he kept manoeuvring with the biplanes, and at this point he actually comes back for me. He's not focusing on the fighters behind him. He doesn't expect this though. Look at that turn rate. For this twin-engine aircraft, it really does turn. But again, he's trying to focus me. He's losing airspeed, he's losing power due to the oil damage that I did. Obviously I'm trying to watch my fire here because I don't want to hit the I-15 there, the Chinese I-15. But he's lost all his airspeed, he's lost all his altitude. He's going to be losing power with his oil system leak, and he's just continued to try and go for a bomber that's already dropped his payload and has already murdered 2 of your mates. Like, I'm pretty certain I'd ignore the bomber at this point. So at this point, this is where I basically go back to being boring bomber pilots. I don't go aggressive. Pictie's just been shot down, and this is pretty much where I'm going to point out the gun depression on that front turret, which, again, that front turret, I swear, it's one of the best things about this aircraft. It's the same for the Martin 139, by the way. They all have the same defensive coverage. But this is what really grew on me about this aircraft, that front turret. The front turret I absolutely love. You can see, I was able to shoot down quite considerably there. And with the good coverage on the lower gunner as well, I can afford to just go for ground targets like this. Now, the AAA, unfortunately, really wants me dead, so I'm going to be taking quite a few hits. And AAA hits on a B-10B, yeah, they're quite dangerous to this aircraft. Since it's an early 30s aircraft, and it has basically no armor. There's the front turret run out of ammo, by the way. It's just, you've really got to watch the AAA. But for 400 Golden Eagles, I really do think this thing is worth your time, especially if you're a tanker, because this thing really does clean up in ground forces. Get in, drop your 2,000 pound nuke, get out. Easy. You can easily get a good number of kills at lower tier with this thing. Even in higher tier, you could probably do it. I remember once when I was flying with Voldemort, we was in, I can't remember what we brought, I think it was in US 2.3 or something. I brought this thing along, just because why not? And I had a guy in a MH Scott try and team kill me for no reason. So I dropped a 2,000 pounder right on his head. That taught him a lesson. But you can see the 20mm guns down there, those flat guns, are doing a lot of damage to this aircraft. So you really do have to be careful of the AAA. But with the excellent coverage, after a good few minutes of me doing this, I'm going to be able to clear out every single AAA gun and every single triple artillery piece that is in this area. It takes me a while to do it, but you can see my point. And obviously the lower turret there has just run out of ammo. But personally, this aircraft is more of a tanker's sort of aircraft. It combines great bomb load, great turn in terms of dodging AAA fire, and most importantly, it has good speed once you get it into a dive. So you can afford to rush in, drop your shit, and get out. Especially with that 2,000 pound nuke at higher tiers, well, even at higher tiers, it'll still devastate. So like I say, 400 Golden Eagles, I think this aircraft's worth your time. But obviously, in ARB, that depends on the BR. If you're in a full up tier, don't even bother. 2.0, maybe. 1.7, go for it. 1.3, go for it. Max up tier, well, max down tier 1-3, which will probably never happen. Again, go for it. You're going to have a blast with this aircraft, I'm going to show you that. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the B-10B, and I'll see you all on the next one.